Next movie. What's the next movie?
The next movie is 1996's The Frighteners, directed and co-written by Peter Jackson.
Co-produced,
co-produced by his writing partner Fran Walsh, who he's written everything with.
And Robert Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis produced it, and just from look and feel, this movie is like almost equal parts Zemeckis and Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
And
wait, for those of you maybe who don't know who Peter Jackson is, what is he now famous for?
Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, King Kong.
King Kong. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
but if that's all you know him from, you would kind of be shocked. You would literally be shocked to watch some of his early work, because he made some movies in New Zealand in the 80s. He made which I call like the Bad Taste trifecta, and one of them was actually called Bad Taste. It's Bad Taste, Dead Alive, and Meet the Feebles. Bad Taste,
Meet the Feebles,
is barely a movie. It's just he shot a bunch of stuff and then kind of cobbled together a movie out of it with his friends and people. But really gory, really over the top, really funny. Dead Alive is sometimes referred to as the goriest movie ever made. It's equal parts hilarious and stomach churning. Meet the Feebles is basically a snuff porno film, acid trip, drug-induced craziness with a cast of Muppets. It's a Muppet. Imagine if a Muppet movie was rated X. That's Meet the Feebles.
Yeah, that's something I.
So the guy that's Peter Jackson's early work. So it's like if you discovered that Steven Spielberg had this weird past where he made gory, dirty, like, these are the kind of movies that would make the people at Troma blush. You know, the guys who made Toxic Avenger and Tromeo with Juliet would look at Bad Taste and Dead Alive and be like, okay, you guys went a little too far here. Yeah. But
no, or either that would be like, wish we thought of
or they'd be like, please come work for us. The Frighteners is a movie he made right after Heavenly Creatures. Heavenly Creatures got him a couple Oscar nominations, put Kate Winslet on the map. And that's the one that got him some more work. That was like his last New Zealand movie, but it wasn't like a trash fest. It was, you know, well received, critically acclaimed, although it was a brutally intense movie. And The Frighteners, I feel like, is his bridge film between what he was doing with Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste and Dead Alive.
Well, he said it was.
Later on. Yeah.
He said it was. This was like his first foray. What he did before was indie stuff.
Yeah.
So this was his first.
And it was his
film
first
with his big budget. He called it, because now it
and he working for American producers.
And first time with a big American actor, Michael J. Fox.
Big budget, yeah.
And Jeffrey Combs.
Well, first, since we mentioned Michael J. Fox, let's also say just a quick overview of the cast. This cast is like kind of littered with genre favorites. John Astin, the original Gomez Addams from the Addams Family, he has a small part in it. Dee Wallace. Dee Wallace is kind of the queen mom from horror films. She was in The Howling. She was the mom in E.T. She was the mom in Cujo. And guess who she played in Critters? She played the mom in Critters.
Mom in Critters, yep.
And this is another one of those movies where it's like they have an actress kind of playing against type.
I love Critters.
Critters is good. Actually, the first two are really good.
I need to see Critters again.
Critters 3 was Leonardo DiCaprio's first movie.
That's right.
And Critters 4 was Angela Bassett's first big movie.
Was it really?
Yeah, the one where they're in outer space.
When they're in outer space.
With Brad Dourif.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, Dee Wallace is in this.
I want the rights.
Chi McBride is in it. Jake Busey. It was one of Jake Busey's first movies. And Trini Alvarado, who I always kind of had a thing for. I always thought she was a great actress. Never really went anywhere, but she's great in it. R. Lee Ermey playing a ghost version of the character he played in Full Metal Jacket. Basically, when he died in Full Metal Jacket, he came back as a ghost in The Frighteners. He's literally playing the same character.
Tell another ghost to sound off like they've
got a pair. Yeah. He's like they can't. I guess legally they couldn't give him the name of the character, but he's playing the same.
He's playing the same. He's got the hat on and everything.
He's got the hat. Yeah. He's using the same catchphrases.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Yeah. But Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs.
Is it Agent Dammers or Danvers? Dammers. Dammers.
Dammers. I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's Special Agent Dammers. He's kind of a Fox Mulder character, like a paranormal investigator, but he has all these weird phobias and neuroses.
With the touch of, what's his name's character from True Detective?
Oh, McConaughey.
McConaughey.
A little bit, but like squirmy and wormy and like creepy.
But like he went undercover a lot.
He went undercover and never really recovered.
From his undercover.
Yeah. Yeah, he's even got the line where like they bring him in and he's like, they give me all the freak cases.
Yeah.
And but like Love in a 45, every scene he's in is like he steals the movie. He's only in his part in the Frighteners is relatively small. He's in a handful of scenes. He's in like
He's had more than a handful.
Well, he doesn't pop up in the movie till it gets going, and then he's like in the last half of the movie.
Right.
But he's amazing. He's amazing. He's creepy. He's like wormy. He's annoying. He does and says the wrong things, but he thinks he's doing the right thing. He's insane. Like he's a guy who shouldn't, like, this guy shouldn't be working for the FBI. This guy's like way too far gone to still hold any kind of job.
He shouldn't be outside of a padded cell.
Exactly, but he's still in this position of authority,
which is fantastic.
He
plays it like a guy, like
he plays it like he's trying to win an Oscar. And honestly, maybe he should have.
He does.
What really upsets me about this is and it's one of those movies that has caught on. And if you go to, I was looking at IMDb and reading some of the user reviews,
right,
and they're all 9 out of 10 stars. Most underrated comedy of the 90s. 9 out of 10 stars.
For Frighteners?
Yeah, greatest horror comedy ever made.
Yeah.
There's a few that's like, this is Peter Jackson's best movie. It's so underrated, and it is kind of getting some like cult classic status, but not to the level it should. This is a movie everyone should have seen, and there's a regular cut, the theatrical cut, and then there's the director's cut. Like all of Peter Jackson's movies, he makes another cut, reincorporates footage that he felt should have been in the movie. So there's a director's cut that's a good 15, 16 minutes longer. And yeah, I really can't say enough good things about this movie. And we're talking about Jeffrey Combs, so that's the theme. And but this kind of Michael J. Fox's not that he's still with us, thank God. But This was kind of his cinematic swan song. This was his last starring role in a movie. He
I guess so.
He was still doing Spin City, and he did voice work.
Right.
But this was his last starring role in a movie, apart from doing little cameos and bit parts of voice work.
That's true.
This was because his Parkinson's was getting worse, and so this is the one he went out on, and Michael J. Fox is one of those guys. Even though everybody knows Michael J. Fox and everybody knows Back to the Future, Teen Wolf, Family Talk, it's weird to say that someone who is so well known is still underrated.
Doc Hollywood.
But Doc Hollywood.
I'm not talking about Doc
But
Hollywood.
he is underrated. Honestly, as far you don't see a lot of. There's not a lot of. You've got your people like Jim Carrey and your kind of modern actors who are known for physical comedy. But Michael J. Fox never really got his due as a physical comedian. He does his own stunts.
Right.
The floor scene in Teen Wolf, where he's just slipping his light. It's
a long shot. The camera's at the end, and he goes up a hallway of about.
And he's like, "Be careful, the floor's wet."
And they get it. The whole thing. And the director, I remember on the cuts, was like, and he never falls down the whole time. We didn't cut, we didn't edit. He stayed up.
It's like a 15-second uninterrupted shot of someone almost falling. Yeah. But never does, and it wasn't he was on a wet floor, and he was really just.
But he got the spirit of Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton came down and
a little bit
and puppeteered him up this hallway, and it was fantastic.
But just going back to the opening scene of Back to the Future, that whole skateboard sequence, they didn't use any stunt doubles for that. Michael J. Fox was skateboarding from bumper to bumper, car to car, and. dude was a pretty good skateboarder and did all of his own stunts. That scene in Back to the Future 3 where he's getting dragged by the horse, like that was Michael J. Fox.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I mean, maybe for some of the wide shots they
Right.
had a stuntman because the horse like was really galloping.
Right.
But there's some close-ups where it's like that's Michael J. Fox being dragged by a horse.
Huh.
And there's a great example of that kind of like stunt work and physical comedy in The Frighteners, where it's a scene you've seen a million times before. It's a guy who's about to cross the street. Something startles him, so he's kind of backing into traffic because his eyes are fixated on something he sees.
Right.
And you're like, oh, he's about to get hit by a car.
Right.
And if you're watching it, if you study and like break apart movies the way we do, this is one of those things where another actor in another movie would be like, okay, this is where the camera's going to cut, and the stunt, and it'll be the stuntman.
Not just the actor, but the director,
Exactly.
the producers. They're like, we got insurance, we got
Exactly.
we can't have
Get
this
the
thing
stuntman
stopped.
in to actually
that's
take
what
the
he's
hit.
for. Yeah.
But
Or she.
Michael or she.
Yeah.
But Michael J. Fox takes the hit. He gets hit by just gets hit by a car. And I mean, it's not like he flies through the windshield or anything, but there's a car screeching to a halt. It hits him.
Yeah.
And he like rolls up onto the windshield, and there's no cut. So he's like, yeah, Michael J. Fox, and I imagine the director, like Peter Jackson, being like, okay, there's a scene where you're gonna get hit by a car, and I could just see Michael J. Fox being like, yeah, okay, I'll do it, no worries,
Yeah.
because I'm the freaking man.
Yeah.
It's like, I whooped Biff Tannen's ass, and he was twice my size. Of course, I can get hit by a car.
Get hit by a car.
But the Frighteners, like I said, sadly, the Frighteners, and he bounced back, obviously, because 3 years later he was in pre-production on Lord of the Rings. So it's not like this movie killed Peter Jackson's career, but this movie cost $30 million to make, and it grossed $28 million, roughly, worldwide.
Oh,
not
that's right.
not in
That's
America.
right.
Like
Right.
like in America, it made like $16 million.
Real quick, and then we'll get back to Jeffrey Combs. Like, this was one of those early CG.
People were
95, right?
96,
95, 96.
People were just starting to figure out CG.
CG, and they're using it, but he said that they went from, this New Zealand company went from one computer to 30 or 35 computers to help do all the CG. It was like something like 500 CG shots.
Because
that
there's
they were doing.
CG, because
There's ghosts in here and stuff.
But if you remember Heavenly Creatures, even though it's like a drama,
Right.
he did use some CG for some
that.
of the sequences in it.
But he said,
But that was like the rudimentary, like
that's-
the one computer thing.
he was worried about, it was like, I spent all this money on all these computers, what am I going to do with them when this ends? And I've got all these computers that I used to make this
Is that
movie.
when he went to Found Weta Workshop?
Well, and that's when the idea of like, what can we do next that would require a lot of CG and use the computers when it had to be a large
Lord of the
budget.
Rings.
He came up with Lord of the Rings, and as he said,
Awesome.
that's when he started making phone calls, even back then,
Yeah.
for Lord of the Rings.
And the timing would work out because like this movie came out in '96, flops at the box office. He's got all this stuff, and then the first Lord of the Rings came out 2000.
Mhm.
Yeah, so a couple years working pre-production, another couple years shooting.
Yep.
So yeah, he would have went right from that to Lord of the Rings, and now
Probably would have gotten a hoagie first.
I'm sure he did.
Okay.
And
Jamba Juice.
and a little shout out to Peter Jackson. He has the obligatory cameo. He's the Pierce
Pierce, yeah.
leather punk guy that Michael J. Fox bumps
Bumps
into
into.
just before he gets hit by the car. Great movie. It was actually filmed in Littleton, New Zealand. It's set in California, but when you watch the movie, you're like, this is not California. But it's just one of those funny things. It's not like a mistake that they were trying to... It's not like they tried to hide it. You're just like... you see the town. It's like, that's not California. There's nowhere in California that looks like that. There's not like a town, like this quaint little town
Right.
built onto this cute little charming hillside.
Right.
But it was actually filmed in a town called Littleton, New Zealand, and it's just set in California.
Yeah.
So he flew a bunch of American actors out to New Zealand. I'm assuming maybe he just wanted to work with his own people. Maybe it was a little cheaper. Maybe he just wasn't ready to leave home yet. But,
Not unlike Girl Walks Home, Alone in the Dark.
A little bit, yeah, kind of.
So
And there
it was
is,
in California, but not.
and there's a couple little things you can look for, like
Except being worse.
there's a scene in one part where he walks past a liquor store and it says Littleton Liquor.
Ha!
So there was some. They couldn't obviously erase
Change
everything that was New Zealand, but the roads, the cars people are driving. a bunch of random extras in the movie have like New Zealand accents, and it's just not explained. But you get the feeling it wasn't like a mistake. It's just kind of adds to the quirkiness. And if you're a fan of Peter Jackson's films, specifically Dead Alive, there is a big shout out character to his earlier work, which is the Dee Wallace's mom, the old lady.
Yep.
She's basically straight out of Dead Alive.
Yep.
She's that was kind of his signature character, like the crazy old lady who is just literally
Crazy.
bat nuts insane.
Crazy.
So he had that character in the Frighteners. So
Jeffrey Combs.
But Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey freaking Combs.
And if you don't believe me about this, just go to IMDb and read some of the user reviews. People, you can scroll through page after, but you won't find a bad review of this movie. And there's no reason why this movie should have flopped. Looking at it, if you look at it, we're 20 years after the fact now, so if you look at it, you're like, oh, the special effects have come a long way since then, but the performances, like Michael J. Fox, even though it's a comedy, like, he gives this amazing performance. Like, he's had this great loss in his life, and he's just kind of...
It's not bad. He's done better.
He's done better, but he's never had a role quite like this.
It wasn't as good as Jeffrey Combs.
Oh, no. But Jeffrey Combs couldn't have been the star.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't have been rooting for Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs probably had the best performance in this film.
Definitely.
Even though he's
like
not
I said,
the
he
star.
steals the movie. But Michael J. Fox plays his character with this, like, kind of... He's not necessarily a nice guy. He's kind of a con man. But he's got this tragic backstory. And he has a lot of pain in his face. In every scene, it's like... He just wears it with his movement, with the way he interacts with people. Just this look of a man who's just been broken, basically, from the result of the losses that he's suffered. And but the losses that he's suffered have led to the events that happen in this movie.
But no more about the plot.
No more about the plot. Please, 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 if you've never seen The Frighteners, please go watch it. If you've seen it but it's been a while, check it out again. If you've never seen the director's cut, check out the director's cut.
That's what I did.
Get your hands on the 2-disc DVD. There's a really great behind-the-scenes documentary. Peter Jackson always does good with his DVDs. He like if he shot something, it's on the DVD. If it's just him goofing around with the crew when something funny happened, it'll be on the DVD somewhere. Deleted scenes, bloopers, storyboards, behind the scenes interviews with the cast, commentaries. He that's one of his trademarks, is that he really gives his fans their money's worth when he releases a movie to DVD. And I can't say enough good things about this movie. Michael J. Fox kills it. Jeffrey Combs steals every scene he's in. And again, I know we got a little sidetracked. We're supposed to be talking about Jeffrey Combs.
He's basically the reason we're talking about these two movies.
We
enjoy these movies, and later on, this is sort of Cam's baby project, and I've got a couple where I will recommend a couple of movies based on the performance of specific actor, in this case actress, says where the movie, I'm like, okay, the movie's pretty good, but the reason it's pretty good is because of and just out of sight performance by particular characters who you may or may not have heard of. So this is one of those things where we're like, these movies are really good, and one of the main reasons they are really good is this
Jeffrey
guy,
Combs.
not even the star, although the stars were good, but this it's supporting actor.
It's the perfect example of like what a character actor, a bit part actor can do to an otherwise good movie, where you can take like a B- movie and just this one actor being in it for maybe 20-30 minutes screen time. Now all of a sudden it's an A+ movie.
Yep.
Just because of him. He can take a good movie and make it great. He can take a bad movie and make it good.
Yeah, passable.
But these are both really great movies. They're both fun. They're both kind of quirky and energetic. They're both very different movies, but they both kind of revolve around like they're both about kind of running from something.
Right.
Trying to escape something, or like
Love in a 45 is good if you're not into or haven't traveled down the path of independent movies. Love in the 45 is a good, nice, see how low budget works, to see how we don't have 30 million, 40 million, 50 million dollars to do this. To see like a first, actress who is big and been in those movies, or an actor you've seen on television in large productions. See how the small timers do it.
It's a gateway drug to independent films.
Right. So and The Frighteners is an excellent film, a gateway to horror film. If you're, I attribute or sort of like link it to Monster House, sort of for kids. Like when kids are watching, because it's animated horror and it's scary, but that bridge of you're going past Goosebumps and Charlie Brown's Halloween or whatever, but you're not quite yet to Freddy and this stuff.
Yeah.
And Frighteners is kind of like that. And you could even say for younger kids or older kids or younger adults, but even adults, period.
Okay.
Because there's not.
If they're talking about kids, it is rated R.
It is rated R. That. But it's the violence that happens is in the realm of violence is still light.
Oh,
and
definitely.
Then because of the CG, it's even animated.
It's like The Frighteners is rated R and Pulp Fiction is also rated R. But they're miles apart. Those two movies shouldn't have the same rating. Yeah. It's weird that we only in America we still only have like G, PG, PG-13 and R. I really think we should adapt the Canadian thing where each movie is recommended for a specific age. Because in Canada they have general audiences, and then 13, 15, adult. Okay. So they've got this other one between like PG-13 and what they would consider R. Right. And but that's a whole other show we could do about how screwed up the rating system for movies is. And
Canada.
Maybe we'll do that.
We'll do a Canadian show.
Canada. We'll do do a lot of things right, and the way you rate your movies is high on the list, my friends, my mates.
Some beer and bacon, eh?
Yeah.
It'd be cool to talk about Canada.
We'll raise a Molson to our brothers up in Canada. Have some toast and back bacon. I'll have the toast and back bacon. Hold the toast, eh?
Hey, what's got a hockey stick, Ozer? And then what's the
if there's any Canadians watching this and you're offended by our bullshit accents, then you have every right to be, because it's really stupid what we're doing.
You should be mad, eh?
You should be really
be upset. But of course they're Canadians, so they're probably like, hey, you're just having fun.
You're just having fun. Like, we forgive you.
We forgive because they're so nice. Supposedly. Hopefully.
Actually, I've met a few Canadians, and that is one. It's one of those things where it's like it's a stereotype, but it's like a really good stereotype. It's like what the stereotype is, that you're good people and that you're nice and you're not like judgy and like weird about stuff.
You're like,
so I mean, I guarantee you they're like douchebags in Canada, but they don't have that like. That's like not what they're known for, you know.
As opposed to like, I was gonna say a city, but I think I'll just say America. The person was like a city. Oh, I'll say this city. And then I'll say, oh, Texas. And then I'm like, you know what? Just say the whole country.
Yeah.
Just U.S.
I mean, we got the little pockets of awesomeness here and there. Thank God we live in one of them.
Yeah.
But also, America friggin' rules. Honestly, I wouldn't live anywhere else. And I'm not trying to get too weirdly patriotic, but we make the greatest. America makes the best movies. America makes the best TV shows and the best music.
I live in Canada.
I would live in Canada just because. But it gets super cold. But I would say like the only thing that I could live in Canada for is because it's so close to America that I know I would get all the movies and TV shows and music. Right. You know, it's like I could still get I would still have access to cable where I could watch like Archer and Bob's Burgers and reruns of Buffy. And it's like...
And make the trek.
Yeah.
I'd be able to make it. And it's like, there's no ocean across, so don't have to worry about sinking.
Yeah, but then, come January or February, it'd be like, shit, how do you
what is wrong with Canada? You guys are broken up here. Yeah. Do you not feel this? That would be horrible.
To wrap up, this has been our episode about Canadian stereotypes.
Any complaints from Canada, write us here at Matinee Prices, care of Matinee Prices USA, 555 USA
90210
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just write us a letter.
Don't use your Canadian stamps.
Matinee Prices,
never get here.
Care of America.
Care of America.
It'll get to us.
It'll get to us.
Yeah.
The douchebags on the freaking...
But honestly, like... if anybody's offended by this, just put something in the comments field.
Yeah.
Just so we'll have something in the comments.
Write us, please.
Write us.
Just say something. We don't care.
Honestly, like the off chance that there's a Canadian out there watching this show.
Just the one?
One.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there's one Canadian.
There's one Canadian.
That has.
There's one Canadian watching this show.
No, there's one Canadian that has access to internet.
Google Maps doesn't come up here, eh?
Send us a line. Send us a comment. Try to turn us on to some cool Canadian movies or stuff that we hadn't heard of.
Fiber optics are freezing. It's
big fan of Strange Brew and Trailer Park Boys.
Just snaps.
So
fiber optics.
Raise a glass. Hobo with a shotgun.
Good with bacon. Fiber optics. You fry it up with bacon, and you just. So that's why we lost it.
Have a Molson.
So this is
gone off this freaking rails.
This is probably our last episode.
This is our last
prices.
This is our last episode
when all of Canada sues us.
We're about to be murdered by Terrence and Phillip.
And then I was getting ready to say, and they come down, their heads they're talking like, we don't want to hear any more matinee prices. So if we don't return, then I'm Cameron. This is Huru. Matinee prices. It was fun while it lasted.
It was fun while it lasted. We'll try to do better in the next life.
Well, I'll try and be the best butterfly I could be.
Yeah. And we'll come back as ghosts like in the Frighteners.
I won't get to do that.
Comes full circle. We planned this. Planned this because it's about ghosts.
I'm going to be a moth that gets eaten by a praying mantis. That's going to happen.
So, in conclusion, in summation, in summary, in Canada,
Google,
Jeffrey Combs,
Bacon,
Michael J. Fox,
Jeffrey Combs,
Peter Jackson.
Well, the show's about Jeffrey Combs.
The Frighteners.
So say Jeffrey Combs again.
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs.
Loving a 45.
Loving a 45.
The Frighteners.
Right. Getting sued.
Long live Dinosaur Bob.
Last.
Sit down. Don't speak to you. Spoken to.
Right on. All right.
Watch the movie. You'll laugh your ass off when you hear that line.
Yeah. What if they don't?
It's impossible. Then they're the wrong fans.
Then they're
for
Canadians.
our show.
Then they're Canadians.
Nah, even they would laugh at that.
They really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's cold up there.
Dude, Canadians gave us Dan Aykroyd and Martin Short.
That is true. Billy Crystal too.
Billy Crystal, Lorne Michael. Is Billy Crystal Canadian?
I thought he was. Isn't that where he came from? He started SCTV.
No. Billy Crystal's from New York. He's like from Brooklyn or something.
Really? Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's Mr. Baseball.
Yeah.
That's right. Who am I
thinking of? Mr. Metz. There's Martin Short. Dave Thomas, Rick Moranis.
Maybe I'm thinking Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
No.
It was John Candy, Harold Ramis, and Rick Moranis. Mike Myers, another hilarious Canadian.
Yeah.
Canadians make the world a better place because they send their funniest people down here to be on Saturday Night Live. And to that we thank you.
Yeah, we do thank you.
All right. So longest.
Ooh, scaredy kids.
Longest closing ever. Yeah. We started wrapping up this show 20 minutes before it started.
Yeah, we'll edit.
Thank God for editing.
Ryan's gonna have some work to do,
no doubt,
on this one.
But again,
sorry, Ryan.
We'll see you next week. Try to do better.
Yeah, why not?
We'll try to do better.
We'll try to do better.
Keep watching movies.
Yeah,
it's your job.
Fade out. Just fade out.
Just fade out.
Just fade out.
Just fade out.
Just fade out already.
Just fade out. Why aren't you fading out? Why are you still here?
Why are you still here?
Why are you still here? Why haven't you... Go home. Go home. The show is over.
Oh my God.
Good night.
Oh my God.
How do I turn this off?
Yeah, I see you.
It's the Baxter Show.
It's the Baxter Show.